Hey guys, this is the Smut
Spice, and
and
Everything
Everything
Life
Life
podcast.
podcast.
We're your hosts, Marie,
And Chelsea.
where we will be discussing and reviewing over all types of books, mainly the best kind, the smutty and the spicy ones. We'll also be discussing just everyday life, everything in life, what we go through as stay at home moms, and how we lost ourselves and then found ourselves through deliciously devilish books.
Today we're just going to kind of introduce ourselves and tell you a little bit about ourselves and how we got into reading. So, my first question is, Marie,
Yes, Chelsea.
when did you get into reading?
I got into reading in high school towards the, I guess, graduation level, 11th, 12th grade, but I didn't really get into smutty books, or really, I didn't really get into reading until well into college and adulthood. Then, when I started having children and breastfeeding, having something to do instead of staring at a TV or staring at the floor is when I really got into books. And what about you?
Um, Kind of the same. I got into reading in high school. I the first book I picked up was Twilight.
No judgment.
Of all books.
I read all of them.
My mom was like, so it was a birthday gift for a friend, and I started reading. She was like, you know what? Don't put that down. I'll buy another one.
She was just happy to see you reading and not glued to something else.
Exactly. And then I read a little through high school and college, and kind of when I started working, I fell out and didn't pick up a book for a long time. And then after I had my baby, um, I was like, I want to read again. And then my cousin was like, you should read this book. You should read this book. And I was like, I really don't have time. Like, I want to, but I don't have time. So I ended up finding time and loving the book. And then that started my.
And which book was that?
That was It Ends With Us.
Nice.
Spicy.
And then it turned into a movie, so I bet you really liked that. And that's a no. I don't know. The face that she just gave me clearly was a no. I was not excited. Or you probably were pre-watching.
I was excited for the movie, and then I was a little disappointed. But anyway, that kind of just goes with being a book lover.
Right, because no book is ever, or no movie is as ever good as a book.
No, it's not. But anyway, so I started my smut journey in September of this year, and here we are.
So and It Ends With Us. You would consider your smut the start of your smut books?
Well, yeah, I mean those are more spicy books. You got spicy books, and then you got fluffy romance books, or you got fluffy romance books, then you got spicy books, and then you got smutty books. And yeah, so I'm gonna say the spicy books led me down that path.
And do you like, I don't even know what the right wording is because we're not literature people. So, do you like the stories as real people or do you like fantasy or unbelievable?
I haven't journeyed into fantasy yet.
But you just said you read Twilight.
Okay, well, I was gonna say like I like the supernatural stuff. I feel like fantasy is a different genre, maybe
Okay.
because I don't know. So like vampires and werewolves, I feel like supernatural, and then like fairies and dragons or fantasy. I don't know. I feel like there's a difference. Is that dumb?
No, I mean, it's your opinion, so nothing is dumb because it's your own personal opinion. I don't agree with that, but again, two different opinions, two different people.
So let me also say this. I have not read.
Hang on one second. Can you please shush?
We have our kids here. Sorry.
And this is going to be a PG intro. We're not PG people, but we are around our kids because we want to be good moms.
Um, so anyway, I have not read a smutty fantasy book yet.
Okay.
Let me put it that way. I like the real life smut books right now.
Okay.
And maybe I'll journey into fantasy throughout this podcast, and we'll find out how I feel about that.
Okay. But you also live on the edge because you like those mafia ones.
I do like the mafia ones.
I think that might be her favorite. Is she definitely leans more towards the unrealistic mafia and how you're dangerous, but not to me kind of things.
Yeah.
Which I think, as a female in general, and I can't speak for everybody, I just know me, that's an attractive trait when you can sit there and be dangerous and just bad. But then when it comes to your significant other, you're a putty in their hands.
You're just that little pussycat. You're a tiger in the streets, and you're a pussycat with me.
Tiger in the streets and a pussycat in the sheets.
Ah, yes, thank you. That's where I was trying to go with that.
I like all books. I definitely think I leaned way more towards fantasy until here recently. I still love the fantasy and the what ifs and the unbelievable. My first, I don't know if you would say it was smutty, more spicy, was Black Dagger Brotherhood. If you haven't read those, I highly suggest those. They are still continuing, and she's got break-off series from them also. They're really good. Some are repetitive and like storylines, but the plot is still continuing to grow. But those were vampires and big men with little women, and it's just nice. I definitely like, and I do like the wingspan. You know if you know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, there you go. If you know, you know. But that's what I lean to more so. But I like them all, and I just realized I think I might be going way darker. Definitely to the darker side. I read Haunting Adeline, then Hunting Adeline, and I was not okay with certain things, and I still continued because she is such a well writer that it grabs you, and it also it's like watching those movies and those scenes where you're uncomfortable but you still watch it.
You just can't stop watching.
Yes, and then you're reading. Like, I want the vengeance. I want that vengeance for her.
Yeah, I there are certain books where I'm like, I don't know if I want to finish this, and then there are certain books where I have to know the ending, and I need to get to it as fast as possible.
Right.
Yeah. So we prefer darker books. That doesn't mean we're gonna totally focus on the darker books. We're gonna try and have a broad spectrum so that we can review a little bit of what everybody likes. And just FYI, there's going to be spoilers. I'm probably going to tell you about the entire book. So don't listen to the podcast until you've read the books if you don't want the spoilers.
We will try to say beforehand, spoilers. Don't watch if you don't want to know what happens.
Another FYI is, in this podcast, we've been really reserved, but we have vulgar vocabulary, so don't listen with your kids if you don't want them to hear that. We're going to talk about adult themes.
Yeah, make sure all sync devices are unsynced from any of your speakers, whether it be car, your home devices. Just make sure it's only wherever you want it to be. Don't have it on those loudspeakers.
So we're going to talk about adult themes. There's going to be spoilers. We're going to have foul language. Just FYI. What else?
We're trying here, people, to think about stuff. Like I said, this is just our intro, introducing us to y'all, and hopefully y'all will enjoy it. We tend to crack up and have a great time doing this, or talking amongst ourselves, and we thought, hey, let's let everybody witness our craziness.
She literally texted me one morning out of the blue, we should do a podcast. And I called her and I was like, yes, yes, I want to do that.
Technically, she called me directly after I sent her the text message. And I said, it was a good idea, wasn't it? And she said, you were serious.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's how it started. And now we're going down a rabbit hole and realizing that this is way harder than we thought it was going to be. But we're going to stick it out and do these, and hopefully everybody enjoys them. And
we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun on this podcast. We're going to have fun listening to our books, reading our books, everything.
And we're going to give you snippets too. If there's something in a book that, we think y'all might enjoy, whether it be a recipe or graphics or, anything that's in that book that's relative to outside in real life. We're going to try to hunt down those things and provide that with y'all also. There's several books that have recipes in it, or they state that they made something and it's like, oh, that sounds so good. And then we'll sit there and we'll hunt them down, and then we'll try it ourselves, and we'll share that stuff with y'all also. I'm trying to think of anything else.
I just wanted to mention the next podcast we'll be talking about, we'll be reviewing Praise, which I listened to on your audio. Yes. I can't stop saying sorry. Anyway, so
Praise will be our book that we will be reviewing in our first actual episode, where y'all will get to see what all we discussed and what all we enjoyed, what intrigues us, what we tried ourselves, maybe different kinks that we discovered about ourselves, that, hey, I didn't know I liked that.
That sounds appealing.
Which is also something that we do. Our husbands enjoy it also. And it's like, hey, what book you reading? Well, come on back here and I'll show you. I'll show you a little something, something.
Last night I was like, let me just read you this page because, wow. And he was like, just staring at me, and I'm like, oh God, he thinks I'm weird.
My husband, not so much. He doesn't want to know where the stuff comes from. He wants to enjoy it.
He's going to enjoy it, but he's not going to know why he enjoyed it.
He cares not for reading. He says he doesn't know how to read unless it's got pictures. So that's how he is. But your husband is definitely more adventurous in I didn't know you would be into that, and I'm definitely willing to try anything that you're willing to. And she just recently realized that. She was the type that's like, no, I shouldn't like that.
I felt ashamed of things that I thought I liked, and I hid it because I didn't know where his kink line was. I didn't really know where my kink line was, and I was like, all right, we gotta have a conversation.
Right.
And these books brought that out in me. It's like, hold up. We have to talk about this.
And that's such a valid point, because that is brought, so many people hide in the closet, for lack of better words, of things that they enjoy, and because they think they're going to be ashamed or be talked down to, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you like that, and why do you do that, or whatever the case may be. So there's no discussion, because you don't know how that person is. She didn't know that I was like that until I let her listen to a snippet of
Butcher and Blackbird.
Yep, Butcher and Blackbird, and her face was mortified.
I was not in my smut era yet.
She was not, and she also didn't realize that I was that kind of, like, I read those kind of books either. So when I let her listen to it, her face was mortified, and then later on, we started talking.
No, it was a thing. Like, I read 50 Shades in college, and that's more, I feel like, spicy. I don't feel like it's smutty.
Yeah.
So I read that in college, and I still just didn't know that smut was a thing.
Yeah.
It didn't occur to me what even smut was until the now.
Right. It was definitely eye-opening, I guess. And she was like, "Hey, I think I might like those kinds of books."
Hey, do you know that book you like, Melissa? What was that?
And you just need it. I mean, you need those friends. You need those people that you can open up to. If you can't talk to a friend that you're supposed to know your whole life, if you can't talk to your best friend and say, "Hey, what do you think about this?" or "Hey, I need to talk to you about this," or "I'm feeling this way or that way," or whatever, then are they really that much of a friend? If you can't be yourself around them, he wants to be in this so bad.
He's always the star of the show. No, thank you.
Well, this is one.
Anyway, so we're gonna have conversations like this.
Hey, baby, can you stop, please? Thank you.
With interruptions. So, join us if you enjoy talking about these smutty books.
And views of just, like I said, we're stay-at-home moms. We do this, that we enjoy this. We enjoy reading and talking about stuff and stuff in general. Everything in general. We enjoy talking about it. Please don't fall, because I'll have to laugh and it'll just be one big thing. Can you say hi?
Say hey.
Nope.
Anyway, so we're going to wrap this up because we have a little interruption here. Thanks for listening, and we encourage you to follow us on Instagram, Smut Spice Everything Life, as well as on TikTok. We'll be posting there when we post podcasts and maybe some funny reels and things like that.
Yep. Hopefully. Enjoy our lives with us.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
Bye.